Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I have big news for you guys. My name is Ben. I actually got Hawks asked me to play tonight, so you guys can see. I'm out here in my jersey, fresh off of you guys following me on Twitter, and you guys got to see my nipples several times this week. So I did that for you guys. Remember, eyes up here, guys. I want to talk to you about meme coins for just a moment. Here's the thing. I want to get your opinion. I want to get the BitSquad's opinion on how we should be handling this, coming into this next market. And I'm going to tell you guys some things that I think is happening, and you guys can respond to it. But just know, as a community, we're going to make these decisions together on the best way to go about this. You know, in the last market, the long and the short of it is that I believed that while Dogecoin's always done pretty well, we saw a rise in meme coins like Shiba Inu and some other all the Elon, Elon Doge or Elon Mars or whatever. I don't even know what they were, right? You had other ones that were quite dangerous, like SafeMoon, that had bugs inside their code that were malicious. So all meme coins are not created equally, but they're all created for nothing. Like, they're not created to have some kind of great utility. And people have been very early. People were very early into Bitcoin. I was early in Bitcoin 2012. People have, at this point now, Cardano was launched in 2017, right? Ethereum was launched in 2015. And all of these are the next generation of important coins to our ecosystem that people who are coming in now feel like they missed. If they look at the price of XRP, and the price of XRP, for instance, well, I didn't even meet a new all-time high, is around 50 cents or so. I have no idea where it is today. And they see that at one point it was worth fractions of a penny, similar to, like the cost of Shiba. Not that bad, but, are they going to feel like they're too late to these major coins? And here's the epiphany that I've had. I've been playing around with some meme coins. I've been basically getting involved in some, conversations on Twitter. Been talking to more people that are kind of in the NFT, Memecoin community, because there seems to be some overlap there. And the fact is, what I've come to understand is they're different people. It's not crypto people. The people that are getting into meme coins, they're doing it because it's a casino. I'll tell you guys a good gambling story at the end of this video. I don't want to flex on y'all, but yes, Stake is a sponsor. We love Stake, by the way. I'm going to tell a Stake story here in a little bit, and it's a good one. It's the most money I've ever won gambling, for sure. But the long and the short of it is that the meme coin community, and to some degree the NFT community, their goals are different than yours and mine. Because if you're watching this channel and you're not here because you just happen to see I was going to talk about a meme coin, you understand what we're about. We're about education. We're about utility. We're about changing the world. Meme coins are not going to change the world, but they have proven that they can change someone's world if they get in early enough and get out at the right time. See, that's the key. That's the key. So the point is that when it comes to these meme coins, it's a different community. The education when it comes to meme coins is not on what these coins can do. It's the people, not necessarily behind the coins, but the people in the communities. When it comes to meme coins, the community kind of is the story. They're just looking to treat crypto like a casino. You guys know we started our new crypto. Sorry, I'm having to watch over there. It's getting kind of crazy over there. Yeah, I don't want to get involved, but I will. He's just yelling. It's fine. I think he's harmless. I think. Wow, look at this. I don't think he's gonna hit his kid or anything. But the point is that they're just looking to gamble. They're looking to make gains. They're not looking for a coin that's going to change the world. They're looking to get the first exposure to something that's going to go up in value. Now, here's what you have to understand about these meme coins. They're all going to go to zero. Now, it's simply a game of when can you get out. We did our crypto casino portfolio where we've added Hex, which isn't really a meme coin, but I kind of, it moved like a meme coin last time, the last market, so we'll see what happens. But we added Shiba and we added Dogecoin. Not because we feel like they have any value. This is really research for the channel to see how these react in this market. About the time I made that video, I had this epiphany. Meme coins are not going anywhere. They're here to stay. They're going to keep pumping out new versions of these coins. And at the end of the day, it's getting serious over there. And at the end of the day, people are going to just look for things to find value and to watch them go up. So for me to be able to educate my audience the right way and hopefully be able to draw some of the people from the Memecoin community into the world of crypto, they can do both if they would like to do both. But that's really what we should be trying to do, is pull these people over the same way that, people came through, in the early days, Feathercoin or Peercoin or Pizza Coin. Like, these weren't really doing anything. Bitcoin forks, you kind of make the same argument about. Not Bitcoin Cash, but a lot of the other ones, essentially they were kind of meme coins before meme coins actually. So what's going on here is that there's now been a fundamental shift, I believe, in the crypto ecosystem. It's adapt or die for people like me who create content, face a dilemma where the meme coins are going to become such a big story again, and people are going to make a lot of money with them, that if I don't talk about them and talk honestly and candidly about them, then I might start to lose relevance. And I don't want that, because I don't want there to be a large portion of people that are basically crypto adjacent that aren't really in crypto. Like, it's my job to be an evangelist and try to pull them all in. That's what I want to do. We're also going to put some skin in the game though, right? So we have this crypto casino portfolio. A lot of you guys have reacted very favorably towards the crypto casino portfolio. And I thought about maybe every week we could put money into meme coins to see what happens. But here's the thing. If we do this is kind of what we're talking about internally. If we do this, what we would want to do is, as soon as we could pull out our original investment, we would just pull it out and then we would just leave it, because we don't want there ever to be an impression that we're talking about these things because it's benefiting us personally, right? We would ride through the market. Yeah, eventually we would sell them eventually, right? Maybe at the end of the bull market, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you what we're doing and when we're doing it. Because the big problem is when people talk about stuff and they don't tell you behind the scenes, they're pulling out of these coins and you're left holding the bag, the doggy bag, for instance, in this case. So what that means is that we got to start now figuring out, how do we analyze these coins? How do we separate the good ones from the bad ones? And by good ones, I still mean ones that are going to go to zero, but the ones that will catch the hype like a sail on a boat. And remember, guys, if you ever do start investing in meme coins, I'm sure some of you, that's how a lot of you came in. Remember, it should be a small percentage of your portfolio. This will be a small percentage of our portfolio that we're doing this with, but we're doing it really for demonstrating what happens with these. We need to start determining, because what I don't want is, I don't want us to talk about a meme coin that might get some hype and then all of a sudden the people rug, right? So I'm going to spend a lot of time over the next few weeks trying to really analyze which ones I feel like are super dangerous for us to even talk about, even reference them existing, and go from there. So drop your comments below. I want to know what you guys think about that. Recently, I bought 3 different meme coins. I'm not saying this is shill. If you've been following me on Twitter, you've seen it. Gensler. It's Gensler without the E at the end. Good Gensler. It's making fun of Gary Gensler, which I love. And people are making money on it, which I love, off of his back. Unregistered security, Gary. Number 2 is Pepe, one that just came out of nowhere. Number 3 is Wojak. All 3 of these, I've been able to pull out my original investment and double and triple my money afterwards, right? I did end up selling all of them at some point yesterday because I just need a little bit of liquidity, so I could go to Stake, our sponsor. So we have a deal with Stake. It's a good deal, is what I'll say. We do some sports betting. Sports betting, obviously, but part of the money we're doing some sports betting with, we won. I think we're up like 15 grand on sports betting this month. But that money, it is part of our deal that comes in. So I just want to be upfront about that. But man, it sure is fun betting on games, right? But the fact is that I personally, not the company money, right? Not the money that comes in from them. I collateralized some of my NFTs yesterday and sold some meme coins to get some liquidity to try to win some money back that I lost on there. I won 40 grand last week, and then I won 40 grand last week, and then was down a lot. I got all the way down to my last $1,200 I had on the side. And I'm not telling you to go, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I did. I literally turned $1,200 of my own money collateralized from my NFTs. You can go track it. You guys can go look and see on NFT Fight where I'd done that. I turned $1,200 into 380 grand in 2 hours playing some of the table games. Highly unusual. That will probably never happen. I won $99,000 on one hand. I won 33 grand on one hand when I was at about $10,000. And what happened there? How did that happen? A misclick. I sat something on my trackpad and then it went and it was sending all the chips, all the 500 chips to the bonus. And then my time ran out and I couldn't move it. So I was stuck. I had like $7,000 in one hand. I was devastated. I hit 4 of kind. So it was an absolutely phenomenal run. I won $99,000 on one hand last night. So I was playing the maximum on these games. One table was like 17.5 grand, and once I won all my money back, I was playing with house money. I was playing like a lot looser, but I can see how people get really out of control with that stuff. Obviously, so make sure to be careful. If you do want to check out Stake, your results will not be like mine, I'm sure. My results have never been like my results were. And like I said, that was my own money. That was not from that deal or anything like that. So I might have been in trouble if I lost. I might have been in trouble. TJ may have fired me. I don't know exactly what would have happened there. But you know what? I did make it happen, and I actually ended up cashing out, I think like 230 or 240 grand. And you know what I did with that money? I bought a Bored Ape. Because at some point I had collateralized our Bored Ape with the bunny ears, and I just didn't like it that much. I like the mutant ape with the bunny ears. I didn't like that one. And while I had it collateralized, the floor price dipped below the loan value. And so I just said, I'm gonna get a new one. So I got a new one that's got, looks like he works at McDonald's, which I love, because we're all gonna have to work at McDonald's if crypto goes to zero and you lose all your money in meme coins. But I guess they're not hiring, right? You gotta be a robot. Well, my McDonald's Bored Ape is a robot, in fact. So I'll show that to you guys. I put it on Twitter. You guys can go check that out. It's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of it. I rebought all my meme coins. I bought more, so I think I put 8 grand each, like 4 to 5 ETH into all 3 of those coins again to reclaim my gains. And Gary Gensler, he owes me big time. So on Twitter, he's been begging me to talk about that coin. But guys, it's not financial advice, and I'm still very skeptical about what's going on with all these meme coins. I'm skeptical about talking with them, talking about them. I want to be careful about it. I want to be respectful. I want to be careful. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. And I think that it's just something we can't really avoid at this point. So let me know what your thoughts are down below. Drop those comments. Love to hear which ones you guys are in. And let's see if we can figure out a plan for this market, because they're here to stay, I'm telling you. Now, these ones are not here to stay. These 3 coins I mentioned, 3 years from now, they'll all be at zero. But can you get out at the right time? And it certainly is a highly speculative, dangerous gambling game sometimes. But there are people that like that, and there are people that don't. So speaking of gambling, let's go see what happens with the Hawks game. Go Hawks. Peace up. A-Town down. Don't look like I was... Okay, see ya.